Alright, episode 2 of Act 13. I had to, like, question myself if I'm really taking the series the right way. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, well, at one point, at English, what is it? In one way, I, like, I made the series as a kind of spin-off of Hot Wheels. Especially for when the Hot Wheels series is in between on the weekends, that you'd still get an extended version of a chance to, like, imagine the characters in a different way. If they're, like, actual race car drivers driving real cars, and none of this vulture power pipes or, like, twin mill stuff. But that all changed when the Blossom Mason Nation attacked. I cannot speak right now. I don't understand. I shouldn't really be commenting if I can't say the word attacked. Perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, I put her in as, like, part of the whole thing of how you mentioned that you had that playthrough that you might be doing on one of their games. I'm like, oh, so he knows who they are then, and therefore this entire concept wouldn't be completely lost. I'll just be able to wreck somebody here. Not really sure if I want to wreck myself, but okay. Ah, this car is shaky. Okay, maybe I won't be able to. No. Wreck myself? This isn't the goal, though. Get out of the grass. Boop. There we go, got XC3. And you. Oh, sorry, Buttercup. Alright, moving on. Ah! I don't know who that was, but they had plenty of room to avoid me. I want to say that might have been Sonic that hit me at the last second. See, on one hand, it's kind of deviated pretty far away from that, the whole Hot Wheels thing, since now it's a race with 2 Hot Wheels characters and 7 characters from Cartoon Network, and then 6 other characters, including myself. But at the same time, I've noticed over time that it does just as well with anyone else in the video. Seeing as you just put it on in the background like a podcast, except for I'm podcasting with myself, which is not generally how that works. And so that's sort of like the main, like, catalyst as to why it's gone from basically almost entirely Hot Wheels based to, yeah, if it's a character that remotely fits into this atmosphere, they get a car. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Everybody gets a car. And so Alex was first at one point. And why is Bubbles leading here? This is like the worst track for this car. Well, Beat's not a fan. You'll just see you later, I guess. Oh, okay, Falcon. I see how it is. Medicine sort of prevented the blue crew from reaching this sort of like main battle. Dexter apparently hit Bubbles, according to the damage there. How that was managed, I probably won't know. Oh, suddenly Dexter, and suddenly I've hit the wall. That Mercedes is incredibly noisy. Alex, you want to maybe keep it on the track there, buddy. Alex. Let's say, Dexter, you can't sit back behind her all day. You have to eventually be faster, right? Like, come on. It's a crossbow at Monza. It should be, like, incredibly vulnerable to being passed right about now. But it took you over 2 laps to do it, somehow. Okay, I almost went exploring. I did slightly go exploring, actually. I'd point out before I started the recording how I was really confused that somehow Samurai Jack had fewer points than Ben 10, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure Samurai Jack has a much better car than Ben 10 does. Well, I think that'll be changing here, because Ben 10 is down in 12th place, and Samurai Jack is in 7th. So, yeah. You know, this is normally, well, actually, I think I know why he's not doing very well. Well, we don't get to see it, though, but I'm pretty sure he just smacked the wall trying to pass someone, because I don't think he started down there. Oh, he actually has. What? What's his malfunction then? The car isn't bad. It normally competes perfectly fine with these guys. I don't know what his malfunction here is. Let's see, what speed's he getting to? Oh yeah, he doesn't have much top speed. It's all acceleration in there, and then, well, handling of this car isn't the most amazing. Alex is still struggling to get around beat. Probably just keeps taking silly lines, trying to do it early. I shouldn't have to grill Alex about people on being patient when it comes to passing someone. But then again, maybe I do. You can just take that basically flat out. Okay. No brakes necessary. Almost there. Almost there. Nope. We're doing this again, Alex. You are playing with fire, and now you've been burned. See you later. Stay clear of the grass or your steering will be tough. Bubbles seriously right there? What the heck? Bubbles, your car isn't adequate. Just stop! I thought Mojo Jojo had been doing better than this, but then he, I don't know, he started in 9th and he hasn't gained any spots at all, so never mind. Well, technically now he's gained one because Alex wrecked himself, but... Well, Falcon just got, shut down. You couldn't go for the move on Bubbles because, Dexter was trying to go on him. Dexter passes him. That screws up his line, and now Mojo Jojo is going to take that spot as well. So, now with that, and with that having happened, B is just sort of free to win. It looks like 3... Well, he is faster, he's not that much faster, and we only have 1 corner to go. A foolish warrior takes 4th place. I had to do that. Actually a pretty good haul, minus... No? Actually... It's a decent haul for the other Cartoon Network characters, the new recruits, but the ones that that were already existing, well, I mean, I guess Bubbles did well, but... the other ones kinda didn't. Blossom and Buttercup were just sort of not there. Wow, the Foolish Warrior had the foolish fastest lap by like 2/10 of a second. No, 3 actually. Fortunately, not quite enough laps for that to really help. I think if Alex were to have finished that race, even in 2nd, he'd still be 2nd in points. I don't know what Mortimer's dilemma was in that race. Why he just was, like, slow, but he was like an Act 1 car for most of that, and the Act 1 cars are doing fine, too. I don't know, Madison got, like, 9th, but Mojo got 7th, so... Anyway, you've been here before. And, the long version of the short, long version of Black Cat. Who designed that? Anyway, I don't understand who decided that was a good idea. Let's have the short layout be like 400 meters longer than the long one. Or the medium one, the default. Yeah, the long one is way longer than this, but it should be. Now, why is the short longer than the default one? That's what I would like to know. I don't think even the person that named these tracks knows. Like, it's shorter in the way of, like, geographically speaking, because it kind of cuts in the inside, but, like, the laps are longer and the distance is pretty much the same. It's actually, this is kind of a cool picture, because you can see the bottom is where the normal course goes, and the top is where the short course was. Kind of like a curvy road in the hillside area. Let's see if I can... Well, if somebody were to, like, leave the pit lane at some point here... Here comes somebody. Oh, it's a foolish warrior! Off-roading Lamborghini. Perfectly normal. I think I'm the one that would like to go back to the past now. That was embarrassing. Gotta get back to the past. That was completely whack. Oh, we'll just pretend that never happened. No, I'm not making my own car crashes on purpose to try and keep the action up. That's not what I'm doing, I swear. Oh, all the girls started in a row. Granted, not the correct order, but... Also, they didn't end up nearly even close to each other, but... They should actually do pretty well here, because this track has a lot of just random high-speed turns. Keyword is should. And Buttercup is kind of proving me right already. And she's gained, well, 2 spots. Bubbles has stayed where she is, and Blossom has passed Samurai Jack. Foolish! I'm tempted to change his name to that in the cartoon circuit. That wouldn't fit, though. Because there's a 16 character limit, and a foolish warrior, unless I don't put spaces in, would be 17. It's like it should just be a running gag unless I decide to, for some reason, forego spaces, but my OCD would have my head if I did that, so I'm just gonna not do that. Wow, this did not really appreciate the touring car guys down here. Dexter and the Hot Wheels guys. It has got the shortest end of the stick. What was that, Dexter? Mortimer has been hitting something. I imagine it's just a wall, because I feel I'm not even gonna bother looking. If it's not hitting someone else, I don't care. But I think it's the wall, because as far as I can tell, no one else has much damage that he could have possibly hit in this area. Good job, Mojo Jojo. Curses. Well, see you later, Buttercup. I've noticed that, too. Buttercup is like the alpha sister when it comes to driving. Like, I think when it came to, like, when the girls won the first championship in, like, Act 7, I think Buttercup was the one that won, if I remember right, and then it was Bubbles. Buttercup was the leading girl in Act 9, despite how little that mattered, because Mojo Jojo beat him. And now here she is leading this race, and Captain Falcon is the only thing that stands between them and a 1-2 finish right now. They may not do too well here, though, because, well, it's a straightaway. but I should have to explain why this car isn't good at that. I thought about it recently too. There's technically one official character, or actually two official characters that haven't made their way here yet. Side Draft and Mega Duty. And the reason for Side Draft is just, I don't know. Well, first of all, I consider Side Draft to be canonically purple. Because the kind of like highlighter yellow they use on the challenge cars, on Soundtrack Challenge, before by default, is ugly as sin. And it would have looked like someone like took a whiz all over the car. And then as for Mega Duty, there are no actual pickup trucks. There's 3 SUVs, and we've seen how those do because Gearhead drives the best one. He used to drive the second best, and that thing was useless. There's another one by Maserati, which is worse still. If only I had access to a PC version and mods, that would be the dream right there. I could have my real favorite cars: the Acura NSX, the Dodge Viper, the Lamborghini. Well, actually, Lamborghini Gallardo is in the game. What am I talking about? Burns driven it before in Act 9. 9? Yeah, 9? 9? 9. 10. 10. It was great. Great commentary. So, I have a very 90s scuffle here. Two of the Powerpuff Girls versus Captain Falcon versus Sonic. Gotta go fast indeed. This is literally my childhood in straight away. Sonic games. Wishing I could play F-Zero, but I've never had a Nintendo console in my life. I've had the Wii, technically, but guess what? There was no F-Zero in that. Or DS. So... Sure, the 3DS exists, but that's not the point. Is that car, like, really that slow? My god, it is. Wow, that's not very good. At all. Sonic is insulted by this. I gave him the slowest car in the race. Unless his engine's damaged, but I don't think that's the case, because, well, the game would tell me if it were. When I switched to his car, it would show the engine indicator. Falcon is very adamant on being second. I guess he he can no longer win, but God forbid he lose more places. Whether that's his choice or not, I don't know. But oh my god, Buttercup is like 15 seconds ahead. Lady, what are you doing to that car? Blossom, where are you going, and where did you get that damage from? It's very hot over here on the other side of the track. Many outside maneuvers. That doesn't usually work, by the way. I'll just tell you now, that doesn't normally work. What is this Fiesta? Bubbles is now taking second place. Captain Falcon must have slipped somewhere there. Yeah, you can't out-drag a Corvette, Blossom. It's a Corvette. Like, does the name mean nothing to you? Corvette. Even non-car people know that those are fast. And now you've been screwing around. Here comes... I was thinking of something clever and I completely lost it. I guess I should have maybe kept Sonic in that Mercedes and have Dexter in this or something. But at the same time, I also wanted the Cartoon Network drivers to do well. I say as one of them is in 14th. Yeah, Mojo Jojo's in 14th. Everyone else is doing fine. In the, well, Dexter's 13th, but everyone else in the category is doing fine. So the reason when you told me to make a tradition of Snap appearing whenever someone's guaranteed the win, the reason I had to kind of confirm what you meant was because originally I thought you meant something like this. There is no way that Bubbles will be catching Buttercup here. Not 14 seconds in one lap, unless Bubbles suddenly is in like a Le Mans prototype or something, like the car that XT3 had in Act 8. I don't think she'll be catching that in one lap. Not when they're in the same car. And so I was wondering, was trying to figure out if you meant in this sort of situation that I would put Snap on the course, but that's why I had you specify that you meant as in like when someone's already won the tournament, and that cannot be changed. So when they've clinched, and that was like what confused me because I didn't know exactly what you meant. But now I do, and I don't know, that's usually what I do anyway, but by the looks of it so far, it doesn't seem like that's terribly likely. Because we've had, I believe, a different winner in every race, I think, so far. Because now we just had Buttercup beat one race, I don't remember anyone else. I guess I can look back in the other video and see who won in those, but I feel like XT3 had to have won one because he's leading the points. Come on, Blossom, figure it out. That's not figuring it out, that's the sand. Hey, Courage. Maybe in Act 15, but I'm too busy doing with the slab curse or whatever it's called. I don't remember Courage very well. Well, it was almost the alliterative podium again, but I'm thinking Falcon is objecting to that. We still have a few more turns, but I don't think Blossom has it in her. Nope. Now, Buttercup has definitively won the race by like 15 seconds or so. Her sister will follow her in this, but the other one just sort of didn't. And Blossom was always the disappointing one. I would say she had another lap. She had 2 full laps to get this guy, and she just simply couldn't. So yeah, Bubbles was allegedly faster than Buttercup, but not by nearly enough. That's like 1/10 of a second. I guess that's a good example of what a little bit of extra power can get you. Falcon was like 5 seconds slower than the Powerpuff Girls cars were when unhinged. But, because he had that extra little horsepower over them, the girls, well, at least Blossom apparently, couldn't figure out a way around him, and the other two, well, Buttercup not so much, but Bubbles at least, took a while. And now I go to my favorite track, X3 is still leading the points. I think I also won a race at some point as well. And guess what, I'm loading now. I might as well check the previous video to see who won those rounds. As my Discord explodes. It's not my Discord, but the Discord that I'm in explodes. So the volume's off here. That's not far enough in. Yeah, I won at Red Bull Ring. Mortimer won at Laguna Seca. Bubbles won at Silverstone 67. And then we've just had Buttercup and Beat wins. So yeah, we've had 5 different winners in 5 races. So if Blossom or... that's just weird now. XC3 is leading the points by like 4. And he didn't even win a race yet. So now ideally, from right now, it looks like... Bye, Alex! I might be the first repeat winner, but could also be Alex as well. A foolish warrior got a foolish start off the foolish line. Let me stop. I'm getting that from an Overwatch montage, believe it or not. Somebody did a bit where every like 5th word, or basically every adjective that Aku said in like the opening sequence of the theme song was replaced with foolish. And I was just like actually dying because it was so funny. It wasn't, I don't know if it was actually that funny, but if you're at all curious, the video is called Genji.avi. I don't really know how much you get into Overwatch or really many games at all, but... Oh yep, bye Alex. Alex just did not waste any time. I mean, why am I surprised, but like... It's like, okay, it's been 5 races, enough of this bullcrap. Smells like Sweden, or smells like Swedish victory. I looked at, that's why I say Alex is Swedish, because I looked up the kind of like, the whole Auski thing in a bunch of like names like that is a Swedish thing. Or just like Nordic in general, so Alex is like part Viking. Which is funny because I also have, well, I'm mostly German, but I have a bit of Nordic and Nordic roots as well. It's like 90% German, but 10% Norwegian. Plus, of course, Minnesota is known for the Vikings, which is where I live. I haven't said that before. It's not always rainbows and butterflies here. As a matter of fact, neither of those will be showing up right now because there's already snow on the ground in the middle of November. It's sort of ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. Not to mention, XC3 is also right on my tailpipe. Being swarmed by Hot Wheels characters. The two that are here. And, odds are looking pretty high that they'll both be in first and second. And then besides that, we have a very Cartoon Network midfield here. Blossom, what is your malfunction, girl? What? Do you fall on your head? Like, I mean, probably, but... I'm pretty sure you weren't the one who took a laser to the head. That's your sister, and your sister's the one that's beating the rest of you, so what's your excuse, sweetheart? My god, Blossom, not Sonic. I mean, yeah, my god, Sonic, what? Blossom is just asleep at the wheel. That's like the only possible explanation for this. Mortimer once again is having malfunctions down at the bottom of the order. Are we really going 3 wide here, guys? Come on now. We are. Good job, Blossom. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bubbles will like you for that. That is her boyfriend, apparently. I thought you were over that. I thought you realized he was good at heart. Don't listen to the newspapers. But anyway. As both the competent Powerpuff Girls take the worst approach into the corner. And Sonic's car must have like better handling than the crossbow, for crying out loud. That's a weird car. It has like no power, but apparently has like stupendous cornering. Because Sonic's just tossing that thing around like a tennis ball. And, well, I mean, it's usually working, but, I think Blossom has had enough of following this, deceased franchise. Yeah, that thing does not have any form of power whatsoever. The crossbow is outpowered by a lot of Act 1 cars, but yet here we are. And it's speeding past this thing like it's no one's business. Thing would probably actually be broken in Act 1, that BMW, but it's currently in Act 2.5, so, or Tier 2.5, rather. Tier would be the more accurate term, because, well, this gets confusing. This isn't Act 2, this is Act 13. XC3 still cannot pass me. Dexter and Buttercup still cannot pass Samurai Jack. I don't really see the problem with Mortimer here. It made a little bit of sense at Monza because his top speed like 158, but like we don't ever really reach that here. Is the car's handling that terrible? You know Alex in the next dimension. He's almost back in Universe 1 by now. Because he has to make it back in time for Stunt Truck Driver. You know, that series that he's doing nothing in because So Fast is doing all of the work. Now we have things happening. Buttercup is finally about to overtake Dexter, I think? I don't know. Is he? Is she? Buttercup's a guy now? There's a foolish warrior in your way, though, who messed up that turn bad. Am I overdoing that? I mean, like... I feel like I might be overdoing that a little bit, but I also don't really know. Ah, XT3. You still cannot pass me. Blossom, you don't win races by hesitating, for crying out loud. You either go for the pass or don't. You just think about it. It's not how this works. So Alex takes a commanding victory. I saw on the map, I thought Buttercup was about to pass Samurai Jack in probably the weirdest place possible, but no. I will remain in second, but we've had 6 different winners. Myself, Mortimer, Bubbles, Pete, Buttercup, and now Alex. Now normally when this sort of thing happens, it actually means that the championship is pretty well balanced. As for the points, I think I actually know who. Yep, X3 is still leading by 4. Ahead of me, barely, and then it's another 9 to Buttercup. So in the next part we get, I did not want to do that. We get Spa, Mugello, and Monza. Very Italian affair, except for the fact that Spa is in Belgium, but ignore that. Spa is kind of one of those weird races. I think it's sort of a starting grid track because of the fact that, other than turn 1 and the kind of like final like chicane, if you're crazy, there's nowhere to pass. You can try the top of the hill, the little right, or the right, left, right section if you're really fast, but like usually that doesn't work. So yeah, that's, I think that'll be basically a starting grid race. Unless the, like, front row is like Ben 10 Madison or something. But I don't really foresee that kind of thing happening because I never predict anything properly. Of course, I haven't actually done any work setting up Act 14 yet. I haven't even determined who the characters are going to be, but do know this, it'll be returned to the original form because it'll be all Hot Wheels characters. There won't be any additions in there. Just like how there will be in Act 15, there won't be any Hot Wheels characters, it'll be all the cartoon characters. All like 15 of them. And we've already seen 7, so 15 is gonna be impossible to come up with a set of cars for, though. I can already tell.